What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, and we're back again with another video. But today, we're not going to talk about jerseys and sneakers. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, man. 2023 NBA playoffs are absolutely crazy. I wanted to do a preview. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the video out before the playoffs started. But the things I still believe are still fairly relevant. Although we have a couple of series where we're a couple of games in. So I plan on doing this for every single round. So the next round, I'll do another preview. The conference finals, I'll do another preview. And then, of course, the finals, I'll do another preview. What I would like for you guys to do is definitely comment down below on what you think. Who's going to win each series, who you think is balling. You know, just tell me everything that you possibly can. I will put this up in like this live format. So I'm going to pre-record the video, but I'll put it where you can see the live comments and all of that other jazz. And then you can always go back to the video and comment on the actual comments underneath for anybody who misses the live portion of the video. First thing I want to say is this is probably the most parity I've seen in the NBA. So 1 through 8, this is the closest I think I've seen it in quite some time. We actually have a lot of series in the first round that are really, really good. So usually you may get 1 or 2. Most of the time you already know who's going to win. This is the first year, man. It's a real competitive NBA, and we're starting to see that. So we'll start off with the Eastern Conference first. You have the 1 seed and the 8 seed, which is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat, right? Now, I thought the Miami Heat was going to give the most trouble to either the Bucks or the Celtics. I'm surprised they lost to the Hawks in the play-in, because I think the Heat's actually a better team than the Hawks. With that being said, I think the Heat will give the Bucks a competitive series, but I still think the Bucks win in 6 games. Whether Giannis is there or not, I think the Bucks still win. Now, if Giannis is not there at all for the rest of the series, I actually think the Bucks will win in 7, because Hero is a major piece of their offense, and also the Bucks are really good other than Giannis. Jrue Holiday is an all-star. Brook Lopez is a borderline all-star. You have a bunch of role players. Although they're role players, they could be starters on other teams. Portis is one of those players. Obviously Middleton. And Middleton was an all-star. He just has to get back to where he was, right? So they have plenty of great players on the Milwaukee Bucks. So I think the Bucks advance regardless, but it will be competitive. So games will be close. Heat will push them to the brink. And to me, they would have done that to the Celtics as well. Remember, the Heat went to the finals in 2020, and they were 1 shot away from the finals last year. So they're still a fairly good team. Defensively, coaching, Jimmy Butler, Bam, they have good role players. So they're still pretty solid. But I do think they lose. Bucks will advance, in my opinion. And then we get to the 2 and 7, which is the Celtics and the Hawks. And I'll be honest with you, this is a complete mismatch. The Celtics are not only bigger, they're better, they're more skilled, better coach, better defense. This is not close. I'd be surprised if it goes anything past 5 games. You never know, you may catch a game at home. If the Hawks win 2 games, I'd be very surprised. I think this is a fairly easy matchup. I think the Celtics are just superior to the Hawks in every single facet of the game. And then we get to the 3-6, which is Philly and the Nets. I'll be quite honest with you, pretty much the same thing. The Nets probably wouldn't be in the playoffs if this was the roster from the beginning, right? I believe they went 11-13 post KD and Kyrie trade, which tells me they're a below 500 team, and the team that Philly's facing just can't compete. This doesn't go more than 4 to 5 games. I'd be surprised if it goes past 5 games, but I think Philadelphia, without a doubt, advances to the next round. Now, when those two advance, you're going to have the Celtics-Philly. That's going to be a great matchup. And in a lot of different ways. I think Celtics go back to the finals, and we'll get to that in a whole nother conversation. But that's the matchup that's going to be really good in round 2. But for both teams, they have an easy matchup out the gate, right? And then we get to the 4-5, right? So we have the Knicks, Cavs. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm very proud of the Knicks this year. I think they're playing very hard. I think they're playing smart. They're playing good ball. I still get a little annoyed at Randall sometimes how he plays. But Jalen Brunson has been much more than I expected. In fact, he's probably underpaid at this moment. And I was screaming he was overpaid because, of course, I'm just looking at what he did with Dallas. But, man, he's made such a difference. As a Knicks fan, I'm truly proud. Team plays great defense. They give great effort. I love Josh Hart. I love Emmanuel Quickly. I love the 2 bigs we have. Mitchell Robinson, number 55, I forget his name. I always butcher his name. And then also Toppin, who's, come back and gave the Knicks some quality minutes. So shout out to the Knicks. They're playing great. Now we're talking about the Cavs. I think the Cavs win in 7. And the reason is Donovan Mitchell, Allen, Mobley. The only way the Knicks can win this series, in my opinion, is they have to win all home games. So you have to win Game 3, Game 4, and you have to win Game 6. To me, if you go to Game 7 in Cleveland, we know how that goes. Usually road teams don't win Game 7s. Yes, we've seen it before, but that's typically not the case to go into Cleveland and be able to pull out a victory on the road. I just don't know if we're there yet as a Knicks team, right? So I have the Cavs in 7 games. I think it will be competitive. I think these are 2 good teams, and these teams will make some noise in the future. But again, I have the Cavs advancing in 7, right? So that's the Eastern Conference for me. Western Conference, right? I'll say the easiest pick by far is the Nuggets-Wolves. Nuggets are just a more superior team. They have structure. They have the best player on the court. They have defense. They play an all-around game. They play team ball. They have veterans that are locked in. Jamal Murray. You have Caldwell Pope. You have Jeff Green. Must have drunk the fountain of youth because he's dunking like it's 2005. You have good, solid players on that team. So I think they advance. I think they'll find their issues later on in later rounds. But this round, I think they are just more mature than the Wolves. Wolves have some great firepower, but they're really young, experienced. And can you trust them? Cat, great talent, but can you trust them when you need them? Ant, can you trust them when you need them? I don't really like Gobert. That's just me. So, again, I think this is the fairly easy pick for me. Nuggets in 6. And then you have the 2 and 7. Now, before all the injuries, I actually picked the Lakers to win. I picked them to win in a 7-game series because of experience. They have 2 dominant offensive players that could kind of turn it on when they want. They have better team chemistry. I thought they had better pieces. Ja Morant's injury definitely hurts, but as we've seen with Milwaukee, the Grizzlies play pretty good without Ja Morant. They actually play more team ball. More people are touching the ball. And defensively, they're still pretty stellar. Even with that being said, I still like the Lakers to win and to advance. The only way I see the Lakers losing the series, honestly, is if Anthony Davis gets injured. And he's literally on the cusp of being injured every game. It's unfortunate. It sucks. I have an injury right now that I'm dealing with. I have a pulled calf. And I need to get an MRI and get that checked out because, injuries suck. And unfortunately, it does happen to people. So I feel bad for him because I know he wants to play. I know he wants to compete. And the Lakers have a good chance to make noise. So to just circle back, I think the Lakers win anyway. I think this is a competitive series. Experience, LeBron, AD, if healthy, just too much for the Grizzlies. Whether Ja is there or not. That's just how I feel. I think Adams was a big blow for them on the defensive end, especially dealing with Davis. So I have the Lakers. And then we go to 3-6. This is the best series probably right now. This is the Kings and the Warriors. My God. I mean, these are like carbon copies. The Kings are like a younger version of the Warriors. Both extra with the cardio. Both extra with the movement. Both coaches came from Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, Mike Brown. Both are doing great as far as coaching. Fox, oh my God, he's playing out of his mind. I just think the Warriors' experience will prevail. And I could be totally wrong. Obviously we can't predict these things, but I think the Warriors will win Game 4. And then that puts the pressure back on the Kings Game 5. Or if it goes Game 7, I just think the Warriors been there a few times. So I'll give the advantage to the experience and to a team who's been there, and they still play really good fucking basketball. But by far, the best series, I think the most competitive series, the most fun series to watch. All these games have been crazy as far as scoring is concerned. So definitely a dope series, man. But yeah, shout out to the Kings, man. They're a really good team. They're a really good team, and they've been balling, and Fox has been balling, and those guys play well. So great series. It could go either way, but if I had to pick, I'm picking the Warriors. So that's 3-6, and then we have the 4-5, which is the Suns and Clippers. So at first I picked Suns in Game 7. Where the Suns are strong at is their starting lineup, but their bench is terrible. Their depth is terrible. That's where the Clippers are really strong at, right? The Clippers can go 8-9 deep, no problem, right? All those guys can pick it up. All those guys could have good games. I do think without Kawhi, they have no chance. Even without PG, I think they could win and compete because of their depth. So I guess we'll have to see how the injuries play out. If Kawhi's healthy, he actually missed game 3. If Kawhi is healthy, I think this can go 7, and you never know what can happen in a game 7. Although I picked the Suns in 7, right now it just seems like health will win that series. And as long as KD and Booker don't get injured, I think they'll be fine. So I'm picking Suns. It's not a confident pick. It's a really close series. But again, if Kawhi's unavailable for any reason, the Clippers are toast. So there's that. So I have the Suns advancing. And that's pretty much it. So if my predictions are right, Bucks will play Cavs in the next round. Celtics will play Philly, right? So that's going to be a great matchup. And then in the West, Nuggets will play Suns, and that's going to be a really good matchup. And again, that's where I think the Nuggets' depth may really cause some issues for the Suns. And then Lakers will play Warriors, and I think the Warriors will advance and beat the Lakers because I just think the Lakers are a little bit too big, a little bit too slow. But we have to save the second round for the second round because I could be completely wrong, and every single team I pick to win does it. So there's that, right? That's the beauty of sports. But I wanted to give you guys this video because, listen, I know it's not a sneaker video. I know it's not a jersey video. But I got into sneakers and jerseys because I love sports. So I cannot step away from my first love. I love basketball. I love football. I'm happy to talk about it to you guys. Look forward to seeing a couple of more videos for the rest of the playoffs. And then we'll come up with a full conclusion at the end. This should be at least 5 more videos on NBA playoffs. I'm super excited. This is a great playoffs. I think the Celtics are going to win the finals this year. We will see. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see if I'm wrong. But I give them the highest odds to win. And as long as everybody's healthy on that Celtics team, I think they could do it. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We out. Peace.